There we go. I'm like waiting. The light changes, so then I know that I'm actually live. It sounds weird, but that's when I know that I'm actually live. All right. How is everybody this evening? I hope everybody is doing well. It is Wednesday already. Man, I tell you what, the freaking time is just, it is cranking. It is absolutely cranking. And it's amazing to watch I'm just like the week flying. They're absolutely flying by. It is just absolutely crazy. But it's okay. That happens. Anyhow, I hope everybody is well, and hope you guys are continuing to prep and get ready the best that we can. Really, really important right now, especially with everything going on. Before we jump into anything, I just want to, if I could speak, would be helpful. I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in chat, no racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the blue wrenches are going to boot you out of here. I do have to turn a fan on because it is actually kind of warm in here, so give me just 1 second. All right, I just had to have like a little bit of a breeze blowing on me. Good day down here today. Beautiful, beautiful weather. If you guys saw the video with the deer, it was actually pretty cool. They're actually really, really cool. But sorry if I missed it. At how are the bees? Bees are fine. They're just, doing their thing right now. They're low key in it. I mean, this week is, like I said, has been pretty decent, but they've been doing really, really low key. Um, so, but that's what they do this time of year. They've got all their honey that they need for the winter. Um, no, there was a third one there too, JJ, but the third one wouldn't come up to the stump. But I thought it was really, really cool. I wasn't sure if they would or not, so I put the corn out, and I just stood there. And then they kind of like cautiously, the one came over first and started eating. The little male, I think, was the first one there. And then, no, I think the female came first. And then the little male came up. And the two of them just said, she just ate. She's like, I don't care. She just ate. What he would do is he'd eat a little bit and then he'd look up at me. And then he would eat a little bit and he would look up at me. And I just, I was talking to him the whole time. Now, when I went to walk away, then obviously they jump back, but what are you named if they're the hen first? Um, I don't know, having any idea what we would be naming. I have not seen any bears lately, old mutt. Nope, I haven't seen any. Haven't seen any lately. Now those little does, I've been seeing them quite a bit, and obviously their spots are gone now. Or those little fawns. They're still real small. They're real small deer, but they're you know they're. I don't know if the mother's cut them loose. I did not see the mother around anymore. She'd been with them. I think they were like they were twins, so they're hanging out together. But really cool deer. That really cool deer. So that was actually kind of fun. And that got that they let me stand there and they sat there and ate. That was really really neat. So I did say okay. So the other night I was coming in and it was right around dusk, and I was coming just before I came out of the woods into the upper meadow. I saw a 10 point buck. So there's a lot of deer here, and he was a good sized buck. I've seen a couple of button bucks, all that type of stuff. There's a lot of one buck, one doe, both old enough to survive. Mom probably with big buck in rut season. Yeah, that's what I figured too. Malachi's corner. I figure she probably cut them loose now because they're old enough, and she's off doing her thing. Have you heard from the neighbor anymore on the other half of the property? He didn't want to sell it, Larry. So no, I seen him one time since then, and he was coming in, and I was going out, and I talked to him briefly and said, if you're going to be around tomorrow, I said I got a guy coming in to work on the road, and that was the extent of our conversation. I really don't have a whole lot to say to him. Why would I? Realistically, um, I'm not going to be a jerk, but I did put it out there that he's not a man of his word. And in this small town type of community that it's down here, that word gets out, and people, they hear it, so they know. And I'm not wrong. I actually had his cousin was out here. I'll tell you this story. So I'm leaving one day, and there's a truck up on the road, and I don't recognize the truck, and there's some girl standing there. And I said, "Can I help you with anything?" And she says, "Oh, well, we're just tracking a deer. He got with a bow." And so she said, he's down there looking for that. And I said, "Oh, okay." So then he came up, and he goes, "Hey, yeah, I'm Brandon's cousin." He goes, "You know my cousin Brandon, right?" And of course I went, "Yeah, I know your cousin Brandon." And I told him what had happened. And he goes to me, "Oh, I would have been pissed." I went, "Well, I was pissed." I said, "And I'm still pissed." So again, certain things are said to get back. Um, he won't say squat to me, and I know that, and that's perfectly fine too. But what's really there to talk about at this point? He backed out of the deal. It is what it is. Um, like I said, when SHTF happens, we'll see what happens to that property. Who can say what could happen, right? Nobody lives there. That's all. So he should have sold it to me. I'll just say that he should have sold it to me. So anyhow, yeah, he might have an unfortunate accident. I don't even think he'll show up out here. What does he have out here? He has no infrastructure out here. He has nothing. This would not be the place that he would go um, when that time came. Honestly, he probably wouldn't be welcome at that point. So you know that's just the reality of that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So let's talk about some stuff. Hey, there's Mac Mommy in the house. So um, what was I going to say? I was going to. Oh, so obviously the situation is, and here's what I think is interesting, guys. I find this actually I find it fascinating. And all these freaking people, Israel needs to stop and do a peace thing and stuff like that. I'm sorry, and people came on here and we're talking about, well, it's like a prison over there, and it's they're treated horribly and stuff like that. Let's be clear about something, okay? Let's be clear about something. These people. Now, let's put it into perspective, okay? If you had a group of people in the United States, right? Group of people in the United States that were routinely trying to kill Americans, right? Would you give them an area of the country and say, yeah, you guys can stay here, right? You guys can stay here. And then, this Hamas, right, gets in charge and they do what they did to Israel, right? And yeah, okay, they're really restricted. They can't do a whole lot of things, but there's a reason for that, people. Hamas and Palestine, they are not the victims in this situation. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. If you pay attention to everything that's going on and what happened, let's focus on what happened. Unprovocated attack, killing innocent people, raping women, brutalizing all that type of stuff. And you're okay with that? And Israel should do a peace accord? I don't think so. I think Israel's doing exactly what they should do. And I want you to, they talk about, oh, there's all this tunnel network, and you don't think Israel has people that know exactly what's going on over there and where those tunnels are? You know, they will track you down. There have been scientists in Iran that have mysteriously died. There was the nuclear facility there in Iran that they were working on that had all kinds of problems. I mean, let's be smart about stuff. Israel's no joke. We're not talking about, okay, and let's be 100% honest, right? We're not talking about the United States here, right? We're not trying to pass, or Israel's not trying to pacify anybody. They don't care, and they have a right to make sure that Hamas is wiped out, and I don't blame them. And if civilians die, I didn't see those civilians crying over the Israelis that were killed. Did you? Did you see the outrage of what they did to women and children throughout the world in the Arab countries? I didn't, right? So you know what? I'm sorry. There's always going to be collateral damage. Always going to be collateral damage. And you have to realize you want to play a game. And if you're going to play with the big boys, like there's that old saying, if you can't run with the big dogs, stay on the porch, right? So what would you do if it's you? How would we deal with it? If it was, and I'm going to tell you, if it's me and somebody's here and they're doing that, they're gone. They're history. And whatever Israel does, I think they have every justification for it. If they want to take the whole Gaza Strip back over, oh well, you know. And I don't have any empathy for them because they allowed it to happen. They allowed Hamas to be in charge. They were there. They did not. Did they stop them? All right. Did the people of Palestine stop them? You know. So there you go. The Palestinians in the Gaza Strip stopped them. So again, like I said, you know, Israel's doing what they're doing. I don't blame them for what they're doing. I would pound the crap out of them. I would continue to bomb them. I'd sit back and just bomb the crap out of them for a while. Let them really suffer. Okay? We did it to Iraq, didn't we? Well, how many days was it? 41 or 42 days that the alliance bombed Iraq. I think it was something like that. Hey, Malachi's Corner. I think we will be in World War III by the end of the year, sadly. I would hope not, Malachi's Corner. Anything can happen, to be honest with you. Anything can happen. And Israel gave them the West Bank if they would live in peace. The Palestinians voted Hamas in as their government. They knew who and what they were, and they deserve everything to get. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And they're not living in peace, obviously, when they're attacking Israel. So, again, it is what it is. So if you want to see them as the victim, that's perfectly fine. You can think whatever you want to think. I have my own strictly opinion on it. And again, I am one that I would not have mercy on my enemies. I just wouldn't. We have fought so many wars with one hand tied behind our back since World War II. Okay, Korea, right? Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. There's four right there, right? And they let them be dragged out and go on and on and on and on and on, right? For what? Because you know why they let them drag out and go on and on and on? Because people made a ton of money because of that. You bombed the crap out of Iraq, right? And then what did we do? We went in and we rebuilt it. Why? Let them live in a stone age. You want to play games? You want to be jerks? You want to go and do what you're doing? Then we should have kept it, right? I'm sorry, but we should have kept it. And if somebody didn't like it, too bad. Too bad. We should have kept Afghanistan too. I'm sorry. It's just the way I feel, you know. Well, we won, Sandy, in World War One, but again, they let Germany off the hook in World War One to a degree. To a degree, but I got to kill that volume on that. So anyway, here we go. They are bent, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, my observation. All right. No, and Israel won't back down, and I don't blame them. You know what I mean? I already know the egg count, so Jeff, we're good. Um, you know, And yeah, Israel's not playing around. They're out for blood, and they should be. And like I said, I don't blame them at all. I absolutely do not. What's the word? 388 in the chat, guys. We got 131 on the thumbs up. Um, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I thank you ahead of time for that. It really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. And are you on a well? We have a well. We have a well here. Rise and fall. Yep. But again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would also ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you ahead of time. So, but anyway, I believe that they, again, strictly my opinion, they can't wait to get us into another war. I mean, we were out of Afghanistan, pretty much out of Iraq, and that's been a while, but left tremendous amount of military hardware behind, which I will never understand that. Not in a million years, I'll never understand that. I mean, what do we got? Clowns running everything here? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Everything that is going on right now almost seems like it's being done on purpose. I was just listening to Kennedy today, and he was grilling this panel. And this one guy is on the intelligence committee. And he asked him straight out, do you know how many people have come across the southern border? And he goes, I have no idea. And he goes, you're on the intelligence committee, correct? And he goes, yes, sir, I am. He goes, how can you not know how many illegals have come across the border? You would think he would have a rough idea, right? And it was like, and so Kennedy said, it's 8 million people, right? And just with everything that they're doing, it almost is though it's being done on purpose. And that's exactly what I was just going to say. It's done intentionally to destroy this country. And how many of the people that came across that southern border that got through, slipped in, whatever the case may be, are part of a group right now waiting on orders, waiting to be told what to do. Now, we talked about this a little bit in the last live stream, but I'm telling you, it's just, and so many people are walking around clueless, not caring, just living in their little bubble. As long as they have Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, which is now X, but they don't care. They're oblivious, and whatever little thing that keeps them going in the world, they're just doing their thing. But it is amazing to me that with everything that's happening, that people just are still, they have their head in the sand, but they do. And what that tells me is, again, and I've talked about this so many times, but I'm going to continue to talk about it. It's a lot of potential victims, a lot. When 95% of the people are not prepared for a 2-week disaster, folks, that spells disaster, because those people are going to feel entitled. Remember that. They feel entitled now. I mean, we're not even in the SHTF is not here at the moment, but those people right out there right now feel entitled. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. Mike Tyson said it best. And and when he said this, I was like, you know what? Yeah. He said, everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the mouth. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, there's so many people out there right now that feel they can say whatever they want to say, they can do whatever they want to do, and there's no consequences for their actions. There's always consequences. I mean, what are you going to do, right? Let's just speculate for a second, right? Let me ask you what would happen, right? Let's do this for a second, just for fun. So let's say there was a troll, and I knew who the troll was, and I knew where the troll lived, and I showed up on their doorstep and knocked on their door. Let me ask you this: do you think they would talk the crap that they talk online to my face? Do you think they would do that? I guarantee you they wouldn't, because they got no balls. and that's just the way that it is. That's how these people, they feel safe in their little environment, and they feel like they can do and say whatever they want to say. And I'm just using that as an example, okay? Not saying that I know where somebody may be. I'm not saying that I do, and I'm not saying that I don't. But they wouldn't. So it's a waste of energy. It really truly is, and they're not worth it anyway. So but it's just the games that people play constantly. So it's just, yeah, because JJ would block them. That's funny. Yeah, no kidding, JJ. Yeah, no kidding. But it's just it is amazing to me what goes on right now, and every and I think is funny, they will be in groups. No, they wouldn't be in any group. They couldn't survive being in a group. They'll never make it. They'll never make it. They're not organized. They're not squared away. They might be good on a computer, but so what? What does that do? That don't help you none when there's no computers to be on. So there's a lot of corruption, obviously, in the governments, and you name a government, and there's corruption in that government. We already all know that, right? I mean, and it doesn't matter left or right. Politicians, right? Politicians. There's a lot of corruption with politician on all sides. So and it blows me away that people act like, well, if we get these guys in, it'll be different. And then when those guys get in and they continue to screw you and me, regardless of what party it is, okay, they continue to screw you and me, and or they all help their rich friends. You don't think that it's like, it's so funny because everybody's like, oh well, the Republicans are only for the rich. What do you think? There's not rich liberals out there, folks? Right? There probably are a few, right? I can name a few rich liberals. And so, you don't think that their liberal politician friends are watching out for them as well? Of course they are. It's just, it amazes me that people think, well, if we get these guys in or those guys in, it'll be different. It's never going to be different. They don't care about us. And as soon as we come to that realization that they don't care about us, right? What was it? Marion Barry was down in, where was he the mayor? He was a mayor, and he's blowing coke. You got the guy Doug Ford, right, up in Canada. He was a mayor, I think, of Toronto. He was doing crack. Yeah, he was down in D.C., right? Okay, but these kids, it just blows me away, and they don't lose their jobs a lot of times. They continue to stay in anyway, and it's just like, what do they got to do? We had what did we had? There's scandal after scandal. The New York guy. Well, he had the one guy. He was on there he had his pictures. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. He had his pictures on, like, one of the sites trying to hook up with chicks, and I think he was married. And it wasn't Cuomo that did that. No, it was the other guy. I can't think of what his name was. Yeah, the skinny guy. Yes, Andrew Weiner. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, what do they think, that they're like, that they're not going to be found out when they do stuff like that? It's amazing to me. And during these positions of power, and the stuff that they do and the stuff that they get away with, it's just the insider trading that goes on, right? I mean, that's like an open secret in Washington, and you had, well, and then you have people like, oh God, what was his name? Hold on a second. I'm trying to, there's so many examples that it's ridiculous. Who was the one, that the politician that was like all, supposedly green, 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 and then they're like, well, you're on your private jet. Well, it's not my private jet. It was my wife's private jet. Who was that politician? So, oh my God, who was that? Yes, John Kerry. Thank you. Yeah. So John Kerry gets on there and acts like, oh well, we don't have that private plane anymore. You were driving around on a private plane telling us peons how, we're supposed to sacrifice to save the planet. Come on, get out of here with that. I mean, these people are scumbags. They're just low lives. And they think that we're all stupid. Now there's a lot of them out there that are stupid, don't get me wrong. But there's a lot of us out there that are not, you know. It's amazing. Yeah, he blamed his wife. Right. He said the plane was his wife's plane. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. So it is amazing to me. It really, truly is. But it continues to go on and on and on. And um, yeah, AOC, I mean, there's a rocket scientist for you, you know. And these people think that they're so important. They're really not. We allow them. That's what, at the end of the day, we allow them to be there. And if we decided, yeah, she's a bartender. Right, exactly. I don't I just it just and what kills me, and I know that some of you believe that voting makes a difference. Okay, I know some of you do believe that, but at the end of the day, folks, it really doesn't. Really, yeah, Fetterman too, right? I mean, he's clueless. Look what we got as a president, right? Anybody but Trump. I remember that one. Anybody but Trump. Well, they got what they wished for, didn't they? Now they got a, well, I don't even know what do you want to call them now. So, but I don't know. We're in deep, deep trouble. And, if you can't see that, then I don't know what to tell you. But, we need to be paying attention, obviously. You just control what you can control. And I know I say that a lot as well. And I know I have a tendency with certain things, I do repeat myself, but I think that it's important, you know, I think that it's important. I don't remember getting an email and saying, "Hey, let's give another $60 billion, to Ukraine. What do you think about that?" I didn't get no memo on that. Did you guys get a memo on that? So why are these politicians taking our money? How many more sheds can your property hold? Karen, they can hold a lot. 25 acres is a big piece of property. It's a big piece of property, and they're not all going in the meadows. So that's you know I want you to think about something here, okay? So we'll talk about that for a little bit, right? Um, as anybody that's watching this channel knows, my members have been buying buildings and getting buildings in place. Um, you know, and I completely understand why they're doing it because we've had discussions. We've talked about the importance of having things in place, even if we get those buildings completed before something goes sideways, as long as it's a place that you can be out of the weather, and it's a shelter and it's storage and all those type of things as well. So, but it's just, you know, getting things in place and getting your place stocked up and ready, it's important. It's really, really important. And so, it's just people need to be ready. And so we're trying to do um, best generator to have for SHTF. Honestly, you want to know my honest answer, neighbor Bob? Not having one at all. You do not want to draw attention to yourself when SHTF happens. When you don't want to be running a generator. Not maybe the first couple days. After that, you want to have it be as quiet as possible. A generator is going to cause too much noise, and people are going to hear them from way off because when there's no other noise going on, they're going to be like, "Hey, um, where's that coming from? Let's go check that out." You don't want that. You want to keep it real low key, quiet as possible. Obviously, there would still be a lot to do, as far as things go, but you're not going to want to be having a generator running at night, and then have lights flashing everywhere like a beacon in the middle of the night. No, light discipline is going to be important. Keeping a low profile is going to be important. You want to draw as little attention to yourself as possible. Why do you think they tell you, like, if you're in your house, they tell you to get blackout curtains, right? Because if you do have lights on in there and your neighbors don't have any lights, right? You do because you have a source to be able to do it. You don't want to draw that attention to yourself. Um, yeah, right. You might as well have a beacon. Yeah, homecoming. Right, exactly. So you're going to want to keep, like I said again, light discipline is going to be huge. You want to keep a low profile. Um, it is really important, folks. And I'll tell you, like, some of the discussions that we've had here. All right. Uh, got your well hooked up yet? The well is ready to go. I don't know why people are like so obsessed with this freaking well. Okay. The well is ready to go. All I have to do, all right, is plug the well into a generator and turn a pump, and there it'll pump the water up. So the well is ready to go. Right now, we don't have a huge storage tank to hold that water. So why would I be out there running a well now? Do I need to run the well now? Will that make you happy? I don't get it. Like I said, I just don't get it. I don't know what this obsession is with people with the well. So, but it's there, it's ready when we need it. It's there and it's available. So that's what I'll say about that. In worst case scenario, folks, if I had to, I will take some of these 275 totes. I'll set it right next to the well. We'll fill it up and we'll utilize that water that way. So that's what we would do. But right now, we don't need to use it. We're not having that many. You know, they're not needed at this point in time. Um, that 275-gallon tote is always there, and we don't run out of water that way. So but that's just that's that situation. So, but anyhow, like I said, it's just one of those things that we got to deal with, and when the time comes, we'll deal with it, and we'll be fine. Again, what the game plan is eventually to have next priority, next get together is the bunker. Um, well, that will be worked on, Larry, on the next get together. We're going to finish processing the rest of that wood. Uh, hey, JJ, would you take care of Tim there for me, please, and thank you. Um, we're gonna um, we're gonna be working on that. We got to get the rest of that wood process first. Thank you, Jade. Appreciate it. Um, get that squared away, get that done, and then there's other things that we're going to be working on as well. There's a couple projects that we've been talking about that we have to address. Some things obviously I'm not going to discuss here on YouTube, but we have. And what about small electric type generators? Yeah, I mean, if you have, see, the thing is, to me, honestly, if you have solar and you have some kind of a battery system to store that solar, you run some lights or plugs and stuff like that on a small scale. And I think that's important to have. You're not going to have the need. It's not like you're going to be running. So here are some things that are heavy draws on a solar system or on batteries. Okay, a toaster, um, a hot plate, a coffee maker is another one. If you're using a blow dryer, that's another one. Those are heavy draws on your system. You're not going to be utilizing that a lot in a true SHTF situation. You're just not. If you have a wood stove, you're going to be heating water up on that wood stove to make your coffee. You're not going to be, I'm going to plug in the coffee maker and use that. Your power is going to be needed for charging up batteries because there's still going to be work that has to be done, and you're still going to need power tools. So, a lot of people today, myself included, other people in the group included, they have, the power tools with the batteries. So as long as we can recharge those batteries, those power tools are going to be very, very useful and come in really, really handy. So, but yeah, I need a blow dryer. Yeah, because it's like keep my hair nice. But it's solar equals lights, fridge or freezer, charging batteries. Exactly. And you have to make priorities. It always comes down to, honestly, guys, with a solar system, wants and needs. What do I want and what do I need? And you take care of your needs first, and then you work on the wants. And so it all takes time. It just takes time. So what are we at? 456 in the chat. We're at 249 on the thumbs up. So again, I'm going to ask, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, to do so, to show support for the channel. And again, I thank you ahead of time. It really does make a big difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better it is for the channel as well. So I thank you for that as well. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. Here's priorities, guys. Okay, let's talk about priorities, which all of us should be looking at, right? Cost effectiveness of what we're doing, what you want to do, what you want to get accomplished. If you can get some kind of underground, and eventually when we get going with this bunker project, there will be an underground freezer there without power. Okay, it can be done. It's not hard to do. The people have been doing it for hundreds of years before we had power. Ice houses. I mean, some of you, I'm sure, have heard of that, using sawdust. And also, using ice blocks that they would get out of the creeks and the rivers and all that type. Well, pretty much out of not the rivers. I'm sorry, out of the lakes and stuff like that, and ponds. But if you have that, or utilize a cold box, you know what a cold box is, right? So you got a creek that's running, that water's very cold. That could be a refrigerator. So things can be utilized without using power in those type of situations. So to me, one of the most important things that you can have, if you have, let me rephrase this first. If you have access to water, water's the number one thing. So you got to have access to water. So let's put that out there. You better have access to water. That's why, again, what's the most important thing of where you're at when SHTF happens? Location, 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 right? If you are in an area, let's see, like the desert, Arizona, certain parts of Texas, Nevada, those type of places, certain parts of California, it's not going to be a pretty place to be when you don't have access to water, and the pumps aren't going to be running. So you're not going to have it that way either. And so, again, rain catchment is big because you can get a lot of water, have it stored. So when there is no rain, like we have had here, guys, I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but I would say in the last 3 months here in West Virginia, if we've had 3 inches of rain, I'd be surprised if we've had 3 inches of rain in the last 3 months. I mean, we have just not had any water. And so, that makes a big difference. I mean, in the spring, you guys remember in the spring, water was everywhere. It was raining like crazy. The melt off happened. I mean, not that we really didn't have snow here, but, that usually happens every year. Now it happens in New York, and the water, and we get flooding and the whole 9 yards up there, because of all the water coming off of the hills when all the snow melts. But again, so if you have access to water, so I'm jumping all over here. If you have access to water, I would highly recommend having a lot of freeze-dried food, just because it stores so well, it's lightweight, and all you need is water. Being able to heat that water up, utilize that, rehydrate that food, and you have that food. And it has a tremendously long shelf life. I mean, when you have freeze-dried food that'll last 30, 35 years, that's a nice thing. That's a nice problem to have. You know why? Because you freeze-dry the food, you set it aside, and then you can forget about it. You have it. It's there. It's that emergency. In case of emergency, break glass, right? It's there. That's going to be hugely important. So if you have access to water, I would highly recommend having a large quantity of freeze-dried, And so if you do that, it's going to put you in a better position. Now, do I think you need canned food? Do I think you need dry goods as well? Absolutely, yes, you do. You need to diversify as much as you possibly can. Buy what you like to eat. Also, that's really important. If you don't like rice, why would you stock up rice? It blows me away when people go, well, I don't really like that, but I stock it up. Like, I don't like lima beans. So I don't stock up lima beans. I'm going to stock up the stuff that I like. And, so when it comes to canned goods, people give me a hard time because, like, SpaghettiOs with meatballs. I freaking love SpaghettiOs with meatballs. So guess what? That's a comfort food for me. So do I have that in my preps? I do, because I like it. I enjoy it. So again, you don't want to have just canned goods and that's all you're eating, because you're going to lose your mind after a while. You need to be able to diversify. Um, Knowing your wild edibles is going to be really, really important. You know, rice is almost as versatile as potatoes. Yes, I personally like rice. So, I probably, at a conservative estimate, probably about 1,200 pounds of rice put away. Because again, rice is one of those things that's going to last, white rice, forever and ever. It's going to be there. It's not going to go bad. It's not going to go away. So, um, you know, you have to think about, like I said, you're trying to plan, you're trying to think. Spices are almost as important as food, you know, and so yeah, rice is filling, which is good. Now, potatoes again, and I've talked about this before. If you're going to stock one thing, potatoes needs to be really high on your list. There may not be seed potatoes in the spring, so you better make sure you have some potatoes set aside, ready to go. That SHTF happens, you got potatoes, you can plant them and make more potatoes. Potatoes, you could eat just potatoes and survive. Now, I think that would get a little boring and you kind of probably, it would suck after a while. But again, you do what you have to do. So, but again, it's like if you're diversifying, that's important. And it's just a matter of, just prepping, just continuing to prep, not becoming despondent, getting all flipped out about what's going on. Um, Most people don't think about stocking up on tools, hammers, nails, saws, stuff like that. So you'd be able to fix and build stuff when SHTF happens. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. Hold on a second, guys. I'm going to. Oh, oh, crap. Missed him. There's a fly flying around here driving me nuts. So I was trying to get him. But yeah, like I said, tools are hugely important as well. You got to be able to tend your gardens, and so hoes and rakes and hand tools to be able to plant and cultivate and all those type of things, really, really important. So again, it's a matter of looking at the looking at the big picture and slowly working on taking care of everything. And so like right now, there's like this big rush, as you see. Everybody's trying to get a building in here, and because we have, so get a building in, get things in there, get things stocked up. It gives us more places to make sure that we have stuff. I mean, to me, if I was bugging out, obviously I'm here. I'm not. My stuff is here. I still have stuff in New York that I would like to bring down here. Obviously, okay, but my stuff is already here. A lot of group members, a lot of their stuff is not here. So as they build their places and they get their places squared away and they can get things here, I always said this is the most important thing, the way I look at it. When SHTF comes, you got to have hope, because if you don't have hope, you got nothing. So an example would be uh, you're on foot, transportation. Maybe there's a bicycle, so maybe you're riding a bicycle. But for the most part, you're packing out whatever you can pack out on your back. So if you have a location set and you have a building on said location, and that building is stocked up, so you have clothes and food and bedding and all your tools you want and your seeds and all those preparations that you've been preparing for and they're already on site. All you have to worry about is getting to that location. And once you're at the location, you know there's people there watching your stuff, making sure your stuff is safe, and in doing that. So those are things that I think a lot of people don't think about, and that's why, like right now, people are getting buildings in here. Yeah, fight like you want to see tomorrow. Exactly, exactly. So, having things stocked up, and I'm telling you guys honestly, without hope. I mean, I want you to think about this. SHTF happens, and you live in suburbia, the city, the country, wherever you are, and now you got to leave for whatever reason. You got to go. Where are you going? Do you have a plan? Do you know what you want to do? Do you know where you're going to go? And when you get there, if you have a plan, is there going to be stuff there? Is there somebody there already watching your stuff? So those are important things, and I think a lot of people overlook that. Um, like I said, I've done a lot of research through the years, and one of the biggest thing, yeah, and a lot of it is your mindset. Exactly, Village Homestead, right? Positive mindset. If you say, okay, it's a bad situation, we're going to deal with it. We got our bug out location. We're going to get there. It may take longer than we thought, but we're going to get there. And and that's your hope. That's your drive. Yeah, we're going to do egg count here in just a second, but that's just something to think about. And so, to me, that's just your mindset is probably your mind is your most important tool. Keeping a sharp mind. Keep thinking on your feet and planning and doing the things that you need to do. I think that's important. And it's just another part of it. So, all right, let's do this. Again, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, because we're at 4:59, we're at 2:04 and a thumbs up. If you have not shot that thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. And again, I thank you ahead of time. It really does the algorithm, so I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon. And of course, always like, comment, and share. That's always important as well. All right. How many eggs today starting now? And yes or no for Miss Thickneck? I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses up here, and we will go from there. So I'll give you guys a moment, and we will see where we're at. But like I said, again, it's keeping a strong mind. And so here's an honest assessment, right? Are all of us in tip top shape? Are we physically ready for whatever's coming? Nope, we're not. Okay, and that's a fact. None of us are, not really. But I will guarantee you this: you will get in tip top shape pretty quickly after SHTF, because there's not going to be any fast food. You're going to be doing a lot more exercise than you normally would. And again, there's something with that I wanted to really stress. You have to ease into it. You can't go out there if you've done nothing forever and do all kinds of stuff all at once. You're going to give yourself a heart attack, and you're going to end up hurting yourself in other ways. And mechanical injuries after SHTF is not going to be a pretty situation, because there's nowhere to go. There's no place to go to get fixed. All right, if you had the same exact guess as Juby Joe with one egg and no for Miss Thickneck, then you are 100% correct tonight. So congratulations to Juby Joe. You are the winner of the egg count tonight. They just have not been laying up there. Becky was even like, she goes, I'm not giving them any more mealworms right now. She goes, because they're not laying. She goes, I can't justify spending $40 a month, she said, on mealworms. So, but anyway, again, like I said, planning, thinking things through, again, easing yourself into things when the time comes. We've talked about this before, so now you got to bug out, right? And let's say there's a family of 5 of you, and you're only going to go as fast as the slowest member of your family. Remember that too, okay? in your first day of traveling is going to be the day that you go the furthest. So think about that too. So let's say that first day you do 5 miles, right? That's all you do. You do 5 miles. You're not doing 5 miles on day two. I'll tell you that right now. There's no way you're doing 5 miles on day two. You know why? Because you're going to wake up in the morning and you're going to be sore and you're going to be hurting. And everybody's going to be sore and hurting because they're not used to it. It's going to take time to build up and get used to that. But if you have your goal, yeah, I think that they are molting awesome sauce. I don't know because, like I said, I'm obviously not up there. Um, if I did 5 miles, I'd wake up dead. Well, again, like I said, people are not. We're not physically ready. We're not. And so again, you know, with what like people like I obviously I get I'm overweight. Not gonna lie, not gonna deny it. I'm in pretty good shape though. I can handle a lot of things. I do a lot of things. I'm very active. So for me, against somebody that sits on a computer all day and pushes buttons, right? I'm going to smoke them, as far as physical activity goes. But again, you're going to get stronger. You're going to get in better shape. It's not like you're going to walk that 5 miles and go to everybody, who wants McDonald's? There's not going to be a McDonald's to go to. So, you have to realize that we're all going to lose weight. We're all going to get in better shape. The amount of activity that's going to have to be done on a daily basis is going to be important. And here's the other thing that I think a lot of people don't think about. And I'll talk about this too because I think it's important to share this. Couple things that we're going to do first when we get down here, and everybody's let's say everybody makes it. Everybody makes it here to the homestead, and we're here. And now we're gonna, we got to start working on what we're gonna do. First thing's going to be security. Security is going to be number one. Second thing is going to be is a complete inventory of all the food we have. Right, all the food we have, we will do an inventory because we have to figure out how long that food is going to last us. Now, will people be going back and getting second and thirds because they're hungry and they want more? Nope. You're going to get the same portion. I mean, now the people that are doing a lot more physical activity are probably going to have a little bit bigger portions because of the fact that they're doing a lot more physical activity. But, there's no second and thirds and gorging yourself and just eating till you can't eat anymore. You have to make that food last. And how long do we have to make that food last, folks, right? Until you harvest. Once you have got the plants in and you are, you're going to be supplementing as you go along. You're using your stores, but you're supplementing with wild edibles. If you're able to catch fish, if you're able to hunt anything, but hopefully you have chickens and you have, what other goats or whatever the case may be. So you have other options. That's going to be important as well. So I think a lot of people don't think about those things, but it's really important that we do because again, you have to really think about what am I going to do? How are we going to eat? And you start from day one. And and it's not going to be enough for everybody. We're all going to be hungry because we're used to eating like we eat now. Well, those days are going to be gone. And you don't want to eat through your stores and then all of a sudden winter has arrived and you have nothing put up. That's a stupid plan. So I did not see the debt clock today. Nope, I did not see that. I just did my inventory and still adding to it. The key for me is to do intermittent fasting. I have done that, Paul, and it actually works really, really well. You definitely lose weight when you intermittent fast. I have done. I haven't done that in a while, but I have done that in the past, and I absolutely lost weight intermittent fasting. But I have always tried to prepare with the expectation, and again, I'm just being honest, that we're going to have more people than we thought, and so trying to plan ahead that way, I think is important. And like I said, again, as the group members are bringing stuff down as well. Uh, 4 billion in cash withdrawal. Oh, Bank of America, yes, within the last two. I saw that article. And they said that that was done. I think people are, they're hedging their bets. They see what's going on, and I have pancakes for breakfast every day and applesauce for lunch and dinner. Well, so again, here's the thing with that. Okay, oatmeal. Oatmeal is very very filling. So to me, if you have, like, so one day you have oatmeal, pancakes are also very filling. So then the next day you have pancakes, and then if you have chickens, you can throw eggs in there is with that as well. And again, if we have so we have a lot of members of the group that have chickens, and they do plan on bringing their chickens here when the time comes. Okay, so we're gonna have, but let's say we have six chickens. I have six hens, right? But if I got 25 people here, and that's just throwing a number out there, that's not going to be enough eggs for everybody. So, the first thing that we would be really realistically doing, I have the two incubators here. We would be incubating eggs. That would be one of the first things that we would need to do because we would need more birds. Because whatever birds we had, we have to make sure that we have enough new birds coming in on a regular basis to replace ones that are going to get hit by predators, and all those type of things. So, is there chocolate and oatmeal? Oh my God, that's funny. Oh, is there chocolate oatmeal? That's funny. I don't know. So yeah, so now we have Lucky here, and some of the members are going to bring. Well, Paul and Barbara said they've had like six hens for me, and they're already laying, and I just didn't have any place to put them. So they're going to bring a couple of the hens here, probably two or three, so that Lucky can have a couple of girls to start with. As we build a better, chicken coop, or a legitimately decent sized chicken coop for them, then we'll go from there. So with all the deer in your area, Ed venison should be good. So again, JJ, with that, and I was actually talking about that with one of my members today, and I was saying early on in a true SHTF event, we would want to take a couple of deer at that point for a couple reasons. We're going to need the hides. The hides are going to be really, really, really important. But the meat's going to be even more important because, again, I truly believe that within a very short period of time, there will be no game in the woods. I don't. I think in a really short time, there's not going to be any game. So the more that yeah, Lucky could be sterile. Oh my God, that's too funny. Um, how do you cook in a grid down situation? Well, like I said, again, you're going to want to do it as stealthily as possible. You don't want to draw a lot of attention because if you're cooking and your neighbors, like if you're and your neighbors are going to smell what you're cooking, that's going to be another indication that you have something that they don't. So bear hides, coyote hides are great for winter coats. Oh yeah, you would like I said, we would be doing what we needed to do early on. We'd be jerking a lot of beef. If we could barter and get, like, there's a lot of cows out here too. There's another thing that there's a lot of cows out this way. So, I mean, we could barter for a cow, and and again, there's the hide, the meat, and all those type of things as well. So there's a lot of options. When that time comes, a lot of the farmers are gonna, they're not going to be able to handle their herd like they normally would, especially, if they're trying to preserve and keep some alive, but they're not going to be able to keep them all alive. So they're going to be more willing to get rid of some of that livestock. And if being a prepper, if I have things that they need or they want, and that's why I've always stocked up the way that I always have, in preparation for those type of things, because you just don't know. So goats are definitely going to be in our future. You're looking at milk and cheese and all that as well, plus also meat. I definitely want rabbits as well. Rabbits are very lean, not a lot of fat on rabbits, but we will definitely have rabbits because, again, rabbits breed like crazy, right? So we're talking hides with that. We're talking a lean meat with that, but that would not be something that we would be, we would have rabbit here and there, but we wouldn't be eating rabbit all the time. But again, the furs, there's not going to be any clothing stores to go to after SHTF event. Can we agree on that? We're not going to be out shopping at the local store to get more clothes. So the clothes are not going to be available. Eventually, we're all going to be making our own clothes. So again, if you have the livestock available to be able to utilize them down the road, that's going to be an important thing. So again, it's just trying to do the best you can, trying to look at the big picture, you know, and just do what you can. I mean, like I said, there's people up in this area. There's goats, there's chickens, there's ducks, there's geese, there's cows, I've horses. All that is in this area. So again, you know, I'm not looking at, oh, we're going to go and take. I don't want to do that. I want to barter if we can, and so hopefully would be able to do that at that time. But the more, Ed, are you talking about a total collapse of society? Yes, in that situation, yes, that's what I'm talking about, as a total collapse of society. So you need to be, if you put yourself in the best situation possible. So like I said, we're not close where we want to be yet. So right now, we're slowly working on things here. And that next step that's happening right now at the homestead is people are getting places here. Once they get their places here, they're obviously working on their places. So that entails getting them wired up, getting a wood stove in there, getting them insulated, and preparing the best they can because the cold weather's coming. And so, could they get away maybe this winter with, using a propane heater while they're here? Sure. But if they had to be here full time, it would be a lot more, it'd be a lot smarter to have that wood stove in place to be able to utilize that. And again, that's why we've processed as much wood as we have. That's why it's there. And we'll get more because I think that it's really important. I really do. So, but, talking about turtles, I've actually seen turtles up here, on the property. I've actually seen turtles. So there's another source if you need to have it, with turtle soup and all that. So yeah, no, we got to do shout outs. I'm behind again. All right, so we're at 343 in the chat. We're at 341 on the thumbs up. So again, if you have not done so yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you for that. It really does make a big difference with the algorithm. So again, very much appreciated for that reason as well. And it's just fun to see how many we can get in any live stream. So all right, so we'll start out with Heavenly Hills Homestead. Nice folks there, and growing giant vegetables and everything. So definitely check them out. There is Icky Can up in Canada. He's doing his thing up there, living off grid. Definitely support him as well. You have Angry Prepper, that is Jason down in New York City. There is Alaska Prepper, that's Rudy, a real good guy. You have Alaska Granny. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel, and Myself Reliance. Two different channels, same guy, up in Canada. Unbelievable builder, and preparing his garden and getting fruit trees and everything like that. Really important. You have Demcat. I like Demcat a lot too. Really smart guy. A lot of good information on his channel. Corporal's Corner. You have Bjorn Hansen. There's 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. You have Bizarriza Jizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. A really interesting story. You can get a lot of good information out there. It makes you kind of think outside the box a little bit. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax, out on the West Coast. Great channel, a lot of good information there. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar. He's been around a long time. Good channel. A lot of great information on his channel. You have Red Poppy Ranch. There's Survival Lily coming at us over from Europe, letting us know what's going on over there. There is Kyle's Cabin, with Kyle and Sierra doing their thing up in Minnesota. Nice young couple living off grid up there. Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband-wife team, two different channels. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska, so definitely check them out as well. You have Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. You have Green Greg's, another good channel, a lot of good information there as well. Gray Man Prepping. You have Truly Tara 76. She does a makeup channel, but small channel, growing, but she's a nice person, so I would ask you to support her as well. The Nomadic Movement down in Panama, nice young couple down there. The Green Dream Project, a couple living in the Arizona desert, showing you what it takes to live in the desert. So I think that that's always a good thing to check out. There is Camping with Steve Wallace, who does stealth camping up in Canada. Fun channel to watch, just interesting to see what he does. Bush Doctor Survival. There is Monkey Works. You have the Needy Homesteader. Again, another channel. She's been around a long time. Good channel there. You have Boss of the Swamp. Another master builder. Unbelievable to watch him build, so definitely check him out as well. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond is a good guy, very, very intelligent. Somebody should be listening to. You have Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Very, very down to earth person. She says it like it is, and I like that, so I definitely would recommend her channel. There is City Prepper. You have Lumina Acres, Suspicious Observer, letting us know what's going on with the sun and all that type of stuff. Really interesting there. Bear Independent, the Uneducated Economist. You have Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News. She's giving you all the latest information of what's going on with Yellowstone and everything there. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. There is Ice Age Farmer. If you're going to get your weather, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from. Ryan Hall's a good guy, very passionate about the weather, and he gives back to the community in a big, big way. There is Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand as well. He gives you the information and lets you decide what you want to do with it. There is Deep South Homestead, another very family friendly oriented channel, so definitely check them out. You have The Outsider up in Maine. There's The Fit Farmer. There's Prep Rebel. Simple Life Reclaimed. There is Town Sense, showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. You have The Prepared Mind. Excuse me. There is Pin Preparedness. East Tennessee Preparedness. The Economic Ninja. And Little House Off Gritty. And I was going to tell you something about East Tennessee Preparedness. All right. He just sent me a kit, a medical kit. All right. I will be doing a review on this very soon, but he has sent this out to me. And if you are interested in that, definitely go to his channel. That's East Tennessee Preparedness. And he is, they're selling these. And I will be going over with it. I broke this down today and checked it all out. So I will be doing a review on it. And I really like it. So I definitely, before the review, I will say I absolutely recommend this. Good thing to have, especially the tourniquet, which is here. And we'll go over everything when that time comes. Okay. So definitely check that out, guys. So again, East Tennessee Preparedness. He is selling those kits, so check them out. All right. So anyway, I do believe we should be supporting each other. We are really a small niche community in the YouTube world, with prepping and living off grid. So it's not like it's a big thing that everybody's doing. More and more people are starting to get involved with it, and that's a good thing, I think. So, so definitely check that out. As like I said, we need to support each other. I can only give so many shout outs. I know you guys in the chats do other shout outs as well, which is absolutely fine. I don't have a problem with that. So what do we have? 357 on the thumbs up. Let's just for fun say 375. Let's see if we can hit 375. So if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, let's do that to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time, and thank you very much. So again, we really are a huge, huge group of people, a huge community, and I think that it's a good thing that we try to work together if we can. Networking, I think, is important as well. If you can connect with other people that think the same way you do, I don't ever think that is a bad thing. So, and again, when the time comes, if there's other local groups in your area, it's better to be knowing who they are ahead of time, connecting ahead of time so that you can sit down and talk and agree not to go after each other and agree also to work together, especially if there is external threats when that time comes. So that's the way I look at it, and I think that that is important to do. And so that's just kind of my thoughts on that. But folks in my area don't even know what's going on. Well, there's a lot of people that don't know what's going on. That is for sure. Again, all we can do is the best that we possibly can. And again, if we can connect with like-minded people, I think that that is important. Again, if you can form groups, and if you could be in a group, or if you know of a group, uh, you know, uh, the more that you're involved now, and I'll say this again, and I've been saying this a lot lately, so just so it sets in and maybe you think about it more. Here's what's going to happen when a true SHTF event happens, folks. One of two things is going to happen. One thing will be you will be part of a group. Guaranteed. Guaranteed you will be part of a group. Now, to me, I believe that you need to be part of a group that you want to be part of, that you can work with people, that you know the people, that you trust the people. There's going to be groups out there that you're not going to want to be part of, that you may have to join up with for survival reasons. So think about that. Again, proper planning ahead of time makes things a whole lot easier. And if you are not part of a group after SHTF event happens, you'll be dead. Those are your options, folks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, because people are going to band together for survival reasons. Now, you have to decide what you want to do. That's the reality. So I would highly encourage you to decide now. You know, what you want to do and where you want to be. And I think that, like I said again, I think that that's important. Do you want to be with some lunatic that that you have to follow, and they're butchering people and taking their stuff, but you don't want to be part of that, but you have to be to survive? I don't want to be part of that. So again, it's always about choices, and right now we are in a position, every one of us, to make the choices that we need to make. So again, just prepare accordingly, because there are people out there, not good people, that are preparing, and they're organized and they're squared away. I'm going to give you an example, and I know I've used this example before. Biker groups, right? How many biker groups are out there? A lot of them. A lot of them out there, guys, right? What do you think they're going to do when SHTF happens? They don't follow the rules now, right? They don't follow the rules now. What do you think they're going to do? They're already organized. They're already part of a group. They're going to band together, and they're going to do whatever they want to do, period. So, you know, think about that. That's just, something to put in your mind and contemplate ahead of time. So, and there's nothing wrong with bikers. Please don't think that I'm like talking bad about bikers, but I'm saying there's a lot of 1% groups out there that will do whatever they want to do. The mongrels, the pagans, the Hell's Angels. There's a myriad of them out there, a ton of them. There's white biker. Most of them are white biker groups. There are black biker groups as well. So, those are, like I said again, just think about those things ahead of time. So, but anyway, we are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? Let's do that. And we're at 373, so two away. We got Franklin County, Ohio, Peterson, West Virginia with Troy, Dayton, Ohio with Rhonda, the UP of Michigan with Dawn, beautiful Pennsylvania Wilds with Pennsylvania Granny, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge, Kit on the west coast of Florida, Omaha, Nebraska with Larry, Anderson, South Carolina, Inverness, Florida with Clyde in the house, BC, Canada with Janet, Leesburg, Florida, Canis Reagan, New York, Missouri and the Ozarks with Delbert, Queen BG in Arizona, Hancock, Maryland with Sharon, Waterloo, New York with another Sharon. We have East Central Illinois with Lana, Critter Lover in Virginia, Campbell, Missouri's in the house with Antonio, Troutman, North Carolina with Troy, St. Louis, Missouri with Paul, We got storm weather in Washington State, north central Iowa with Ace, northern Ontario, Canada with Kenzie, Traveler down in Texas, Nova Scotia, Canada with Off Grid, Our Life Off Grid, Central Virginia, we got Connecticut, St. Augustine, Florida with Diane, Palatka, Idaho with Janita, Western New York with Karen, Northwestern Ohio. We have South Central Kansas with the Scan family, Cape Cod, Mass, Central Minnesota. We have Rolling Meadows, Illinois with Katrina, Washington State with Miss T, Central New York with Village Homestead, West Central Ohio with Dale, Rhode Island with Laz. So again, guys, we're all over the country. We're all over the world. We're a huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that can truly make a difference. We can make a difference now. We're trying to wake people up. We got Gypsy Mama Prepper in Verone, BC, Canada. We got Cowgirl out in Arizona. So, let's see. Cripple Creek just found your channel and joined you there. Okay, well, that's cool. Thank you. Uh, Elsmer, Kentucky with Anthony. That have been a member of the Outlaws for over 30 years, Tony Blackmoon said. Nothing, like I said, I'm not against biker groups, guys. I've partied with plenty of them, and I like them. They're good people. But what I'm saying, the point that I was making was this. When the time comes, they're already an organized group. They call each other brother. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to band together. They're going to do what they want to do. That's the point that I'm making. You know, that's the point I'm making. So, they're already organized. So, and if they don't have supplies, they're going to take them. And there's nobody's going to stop them unless you're organized and you have a group. That's my point. And there'll be a lot of other people that do the same exact thing, not just bikers. So, but the point I was making was there's already groups out there that are organized that can do what they want to do now. So, just something to think about. Awesome, Ed, that you are going over time and touching base with the people. Wow, so much respect. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think it's important that we talk about these things. I mean, these things are important. And the time comes, we need to be thinking about these things. We got Bonnie in Southern Oregon. Very nice. But anyway, like I said, we all have choices to make. We can choose to do nothing, and then when the time comes, you have nobody to blame but yourself, or you can be proactive. There is, as long as we have another day, you have time, and that's the way I look at it. And like I said, with my group, we're trying to get organized. We're trying to get squared away. We're getting things done that are important. We got Guy up in Denver, Colorado. Very nice. So just do the best you can, folks. That's what I would encourage you. But if you can get involved with a group now, and again, like if you're into the 3%er groups, knock yourself out. Go ahead and be with those type of groups. You have to make a decision of what's important to you. I can't make that decision for you. That's what you have to do. So I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the check. What are we at, 388? Oh, man, we're like 12 away from 400. We got to hit 400 now. I know we're almost done here, but we got to hit 400. Well, we don't have to, but it would be nice. How's that? So let's see if we can get to 400. I want to thank my moderators again. They do a fantastic job, and I very much appreciate that they come in here and keep the channel clean, keep the chat clean. They're awesome. So I very much appreciated, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate for me. I want to thank all you guys for being here and being part of what we're doing. Hopefully, learn something. Sharing information. I always think that that's really important. And so, just do the best that you can. Remember, guys, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we will be in much, much better shape. What are we? 398. Two more, guys. Two more for 400. Stop letting them divide us. Race, religion, political affiliation. None of these make any difference. None of them, they don't. We have to come together as human beings. We really, really do. Okay? So the sooner we do that, the better off we're going to be. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important to tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person stopping you from achieving your goal is you. That's it. Set realistic goals, set about to making them happen, and they will happen. So that's all we can do, okay? And, stay away from negative people that want to try to bring you down. They're just miserable, unhappy people, and they want to make you miserable and unhappy too, and don't let them do that. So I see we're over 400, so that's awesome. So you guys are great. Have a great night, everyone. Keep prepping. Please be safe. Take care of your business. Take care of the people that you love and care about. I will see you later. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.